Please.
So, first of all, your previous panelist from Ireland makes me proud to be Irish myself. So, sir, the next time you're in the States, I'm going to buy you dinner at the Dubliner, okay? I love what you had to say, and I love your passion. And I agree with it. I think the Palestinian Authority is in a difficult position, though, frankly. The more that they suppress free speech, the more that they commit violence against journalists, particularly Al Jazeera. And of course, it reminds me of what the Israeli forces did to Shireen Abu Akleh, who was a wonderful journalist, and a sniper executed her right in the skull. And the U.S. did nothing about it, let alone the Israeli justice system. But the more they do that, the more they suppress Palestinians, the more violence, the more violation of human rights, the more approval they will get from this Israeli government and by many in the Israeli Defense Forces. The Palestinian Authority is trying to show this Israeli government and people in the United States, I suspect particularly the new Trump administration, that they can be counted on to carry out Israel's will. The problem is that as they do that, they lose legitimacy from the Palestinian people themselves. Now, the Israeli government, this particular government, doesn't seem to care much about democracy unless it's for the Jewish people living in Israel. But we should, and we should recognize that if you are going to appoint the Palestinian Authority, they need to be acting in the best interests of the people and have the support of the people. When their military carries out this kind of suppression, particularly what they're doing in Jenin, they lose legitimacy. They will not get the support. That's what happened in Gaza. And so I don't know where we go from here. I think the Palestinian Authority probably made the decision to do what they can to incur the support of the Israeli government and the United States. But I think it's probably irreparable in terms of the damage they did to their own legitimacy among their people. So the only way out is to find leadership, both in Gaza and particularly in the West Bank, that can bring all the Palestinians together, can legitimately speak for the Palestinians. There are some leaders, Marwan Barghouti, he's getting old now. He's been jailed most of his adult life, but he's a legitimate leader. And I've talked to him on occasion. And when we did congressional delegations to the West Bank, I think highly of him. There are a few others that could be the voice of Palestinians. But right now, they don't have any voice. And in fact, those who do try to voice the vision and the values of Palestinians are being suppressed. I think it's an untenable situation. I'm glad you are having this panel because the rest of the world needs to speak up. Palestinians don't have that right to speak up right now. More than 46,000 have been killed, most of them women and children, and then there are thousands more buried under rubble, and over 100,000 badly injured. So it has been a genocide taking place in Gaza, and this Israeli government, I think, intends to take over control of Gaza and probably much of the West Bank. We need to speak up and try to stop that. We can't let the Israeli government do to Palestinian people what the North American settlers, frankly, did to the indigenous people of North America. But I think that's what they want to do. Who they don't kill, they'll put into reservations. In this case, refugee camps. That can't be allowed. It's wrong. It goes against all the principles that the U.S. and Europe hold to, and most of the rest of the world. And I think we have an obligation to speak up and not just stand on the sidelines and mutely observe this without raising our voice. So that's why I appreciate the previous speaker, and I suspect subsequent speakers are going to say the same thing. I appreciate you having this panel, and more than happy to respond to any questions in terms of where the U.S. is, but it's disappointing so far.